video that's exposed all of my lies. Don't know what I'm talking about? Well, let me show you just the first 30 seconds of this recent video from Scott Kramer.
John Grogan, he does all of the lie detector stuff for like every YouTuber.
How can there only be one guy that does lie detector stuff? We need to know more about this.
I've looked into this more than I've been leading on. I've definitely like researched this.
You got to make this video now.
Yeah, I think I will.
Really?
It's a good topic.
This is deep. It goes deep.
Now you guys might recognize this face, because he used my video as the final titular slide on the dark truth behind the lie detector guy. Now, if you guys haven't seen this video, super worth checking it out from Scott Kramer, but I figured
Don't tell me this. Bro. Ain't no way they... Alright. I got it running on ultra high. Guess we'll try more.
I'd make my own little video giving my 2 cents as someone who's accused of being a user of the lie detector guy. Now, the main crux of the argument is that the lie detector guy's true evil is that he does not actually detect lies. Although that is what his name is, and that's what his title is, and that's what the services you pay for are, most of what he does, according to Scott, is theater. And he's actually just a funny guy who pretends to be a lie detector. Not that he's incapable of doing lie detecting, but that's a much more difficult, slow process, and that he, for entertainment, will just make shit up with his thumb, going like this or this, whichever is funnier. And here is Scott talking about that.
A lot of the time, I can't really tell if John is a serious polygraph examiner or just a dang comedian.
There's no way any of these guys can trick me, and I live by the motto, liars go to hell.
I love you.
I love her too.
I'm very disappointed in myself.
Now you know how your parents felt. Have you ever let somebody poop on you in a sexual way?
No.
It's a goddamn lie. I'll kill you right here. Margot Robbie needs my knobby.
It looked like...
Now, look, I think John is a hilarious guy, but it does bring up a good point. Generally, when you're doing a lie detector, you have to be very still. You're not allowed to move your head in any way, shape, or form. But whenever you see a YouTuber use John Grogan, even me, people are moving around all the time. They're moving their fingers. I mean, hell, you're not even supposed to do a lie detector test in your own home. But it seems like every YouTuber is at their usual recording setup when they're doing the lie detector test. So, is it all a scam? Well, when this video was brought to my attention yesterday, I panicked. Like most YouTubers, I thought I would lie. I thought I'd try to get out of this situation Logan Paul style. It wasn't me. It was everybody else that was scamming. Now, I've only ever worked with John in a very legitimate, truthful way, right? A very legitimate and truthful, honest, right? To the point way. I would never lie. Wouldn't do that.
Right. Of course not, Ludwig. Of course not.
Worth noting 2 things here. 1, I'm not a Boy Scout. I've never have been. 2, I lied. I did lie. And here's where I'll divulge my relationship with the lie detector guy. Now, you've probably seen him on many channels or TV or whatever. Where I originally found John Grogan was a Try Guys video. And then after the Try Guys video, I saw Offline TV make a video with him. And I'm not kidding, my exact thought was, well, shit, if Offline TV can figure out how to hire this guy, so can I. And so 4 days later, I made a stream with the guy, and a week after it, I posted the video with John Grogan. That was it. That's how I did it. And then when John came over, initially I thought this was going to be legit. I'm being truthful. John, I give him a call. He answers. He's like, hey, it's John Grogan. I'm like, hey, I need you to film a YouTube video. He's like, it's $1,000. I'm like, damn, bitch, that's kind of more expensive than the website, but also probably worth it. So, all right, sure, $1,000. And then he comes over. Once he comes over, he says to me, look, we're not going to be able to do a legitimate polygraph test here. And I'm like, John, that's the whole point. That's why I'm paying you $1,000. And he's like, yeah, okay, but a polygraph test is very slow, very boring. When you give an answer, I have to read the results for a little bit before giving a reply back. A lot of the time, it's inconclusive. You won't even have a true or false. And it's never an outright lie. There's just some things that trend towards lies. And I can't speak with such, exact verbiage. I have to be more vague. So it's basically a lot lamer for entertainment purposes. I was like, all right, well, that makes sense, John. So, like, what are we going to do? He's like, well, I can use the system and kind of go by what it says. But I'm sorry to admit this. He said, if there's ever an answer you want, you could tap me on the foot.
What can I do for you?
And if you tap me on the foot, that'll let me know that should be a lie. And if you don't tap me, it'll be a truth. And that's exactly what we did for some of the answers. Now, some of them, John still went on his own way. I don't know if he was just making them up or if he was reading anything on the polygraph test. But I've received grief for some of the answers in this lie detector test seen by a few million people. And it's finally time I out myself. Scott Kramer, you have found me, and I have apologized for my sins. And for my sins, I will buy a few of the Helix Sleep mattresses with code Scott Kramer for 20% off.
Oh.
Anyway, how did I find him? Well, look, if you go look up polygraph guy or lie detector guy, he just comes up. Not only does he come up on, like, the top websites, he owns, like, 50 web pages. He went full Michael Reeves, and he just made a bunch of different websites that all link back to him. And the websites look like they're straight out of 1999. Look at this shit. He lists it. Look, every single thing he's been on just until 2013. Then he gave up. And that's just 50 pages.
Jesus.
Crazy.
I would
Crazy.
never do something
Anyway,
like that.
there are some darker truths around John that I feel like are worth talking about. The first one is how, although some can be for entertainment purposes, other times people have done John lie detector tests for PR reasons. And he brings up this Kylie Jenner, Kris Jenner lie detector test on the Late Night Show with James Corden. So let's just look at this.
Late lie detector with Kris and Kylie Jenner. In the segment, James asks Kris Jenner, who's hooked up to John's polygraph, whether or not she was behind the release of Kim and Ray J's sex tape. A rumor that has been floating around since Ray J started it. And here's what happened in the interview.
Did you help Kim release her sex tape?
It's okay. No.
Now, I've learned from Scott's video that you're actually not allowed to, like, start nodding your head and stuff. You're not allowed to move around. You're not allowed to say anything that is anything different than yes or no. But they do all this. They do all, and obviously there's a lot of it's a much different scenario. Taking a polygraph test in, like, a some sort of court of law. Okay, and before you say it's not admissible in the court of law, it is in some jurisdictions, so they still do it in some places, as opposed to in a live studio audience at the Late Late Show.
No.
True. Of course it's true.
Which, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that you can hire John just for a little bit of PR. All right, I was talking about this on stream last night, but hypothetical, EDP445, he keeps trying to make a comeback. What if he makes a comeback? All right, he comes back, he has a YouTube video with John Grogan, and John Grogan's like, did you mean to deliver a cupcake? And then EDP445's like, yeah, and then John goes, true. Would his morals stop him from doing that? If he still gets the paycheck, does he do it? Does he say he was delivering cupcakes? It does bring up a fair question, but that's not the end of John's possible malfeasance. There's also an alleged list, a litany of items that he has done to different people that are not the most savory.
That John ran a polygraph training course filled with inaccurate information. They said that he intimidated and harassed them when they tried advertising their own services in his territory. They said that he's not even technically certified to be a polygraph examiner. He allegedly told them to never charge less than the industry standard of $395, which is odd because on his current website, he boasts a lot about
He charged me $1,000, and he was there 2 hours.
Being way cheaper than that and undercutting other examiners. He allegedly encouraged encouraged at-home testing regardless of how dangerous it can be, which directly contradicts what's posted on his current website. And
we did test in my own home.
The website directly contradicts nearly every YouTube video he's ever been in. They point out how incorrectly John goes about administering tests, allowing people to just move around freely and talk as much as they want. And he allegedly created a digital empire of sorts, buying up dozens of website domains that all redirect customers to his business.
I kind of respect that.
Essentially making it near impossible for other polygraph examiners to get business in the area through SEO.
Despite the inaccuracy of John's dated machine, we had to go with him since there weren't any other operators in the area.
And I...
Anyway, that's it. These are my lies. These are my malfeasance as revealed by Scott Kramer. Check out his full video. Sorry for my sins. Was it worth it? Hell yeah,
Yes.
it was worth it. The video is funny as hell. Plus, I got a cool mug. It's my favorite mug. It says
No
Certified
regrets.
Polygraph. I think that's all you have to do to actually be able to administer the test. Anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry for lying. Have a good rest of your day. I've never lied in any other time ever.